All right, it's Tuesday night, so I just came back from the movies. I saw Little White Rick. That name just doesn't stick in my head for some reason. I don't know. Little White Rick. It's an odd name. I went to see it mostly because it has Matthew McConaughey, and he's not dreamy, but he's really inspired me ever since he was in. I saw him in True Detective, and he played that super dark character that mumbled along and was just so somber and mysterious. I found him really intriguing in that TV show, and I've been sort of interested in seeing him act ever since. So here he was in Little White Rick. He wasn't the protagonist in this film. The protagonist was his son, was his character's son, but Matthew McConaughey was excellent in the film all the same. Playing sort of a dad in Michigan in the 80s, a bit of a beer belly, bit of white trash, if I can, be so bold. I think he did a good job there. The movie's about this teenager in Michigan who grew up in the 80s, and it's based on a true story. I'm not going to say who it's based on because I think the film was interesting to watch on its own merit, and I appreciated not knowing what was going to happen in the end. I knew nothing about this person whatsoever, so I was able to enjoy the film just straight up as it was presented. So it basically follows this young Rick who was living in urban Detroit, and he sort of gets involved with some local drug dealers and gangs. I mean, they're his friends, really. So he gets involved with them in the way anybody hanging out with them might. Plus his pop is a reseller of guns. So there's kind of a natural connection there. And so this young kid, a teenager, gets a little bit more involved with the drug trade, and the police get involved at one point and get him to be a bit of an informant for them. I don't want to go too deep into the plot beyond that. That's sort of the premise of the film. I think I could repeat the poster at least, which is that the Rick was FBI informant and drug kingpin, all by the time he was 15. So that's the premise of the film. Although the film was not so much about the drug kingpin life or so much about FBI informing, though those were definitely important elements. There was the boy's family was also a central theme or a central figure in this movie. They played quite prominently. His relationship to his dad, his relationship to his sister, who's struggles with drug addiction and abusive relationships. So I thought it was a good film. It was enjoyable, well made, well acted. Quite a dark film, which I think I enjoy. I enjoy dark films. So it was sort of gritty. Not crystal clear dialogue, at all times. Sometimes some of the exchanges are muffled, as they are in real life sometimes. So I appreciate drama that is a bit hyper realistic on that. So I noticed in the end there's a producer credit for Darren Aronofsky. I had no idea he's had produced this film. And I haven't seen actually much of Darren Aronofsky's work for many, many years, but I did remember watching many, many years ago Requiem for a Dream and Pi. So both of which I thought were super cool and exciting and, great, interesting films, very thrilling. And certainly if you've seen them, you know how, psychopathically frenetic they are and claustrophobic and surreal in a really cool way. He did a really interesting films there. I don't know what he's done since, but I was definitely happy to see his name attached to this film. He wasn't the director, obviously, but it made sense seeing the film. Not that it was at all like Pi or Requiem for a Dream, because it wasn't, but it did have an edginess to it. It dealt with drug use in a way that I thought, if not authentic, I mean it is a movie, but it was believable and effective. So that was a nice piece to it. The movie, it surprised me in a few places, which is always nice. It was well acted. Even the young man who plays young white Rick, he was a solid performance. I didn't find him to be an awkward young actor at any time. As well as I said, Matthew McConaughey was very solid. Yeah, so it's a good film, enjoyable. I think not a great film, but it played well. There were some nice surprises to it. Well acted. Interesting sort of. Can I call it a period drama? If it's in the 80s, I don't know. Period drama. I'm pretty sure that's not even the proper name for the genre. But yeah, an interesting film for Tuesday night. I don't know what I'm going to see next week, but I will be sure to let you know. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.